meet Art today, an accomplished speaker here at Toastmasters. Art is working out of the Storytelling Advanced Manual. It's the same one I'm working at. I'm just a speech or so behind it, so hopefully there won't be too many comparisons when I get up here. In the manual, you know, it asks how well does the story tie together? How good of a job did he do with that? And I thought he did a really good job, because starting out with this quote of what's in a name, and then that was the theme as to, like, what does a name mean and how does it affect the character in the story? And the name affected Diego very much throughout the story. So I thought that was a very good way to tie everything together, and the tension in the whole story too. Of sometimes, you know, it was great to be named Diego, other times it wasn't so great. But that provided the dramatic tension. Now, character development was another thing that was to be analyzed here, and the character development was really good between Diego and you, Art. And so that I think you did a great job with. There's maybe some room for improvement there. Would be, like, I was wanting to know, well, how does the other people in his life, how do they interact with him? How is his issue with the name affecting his interactions with them? And what, you know, just by adding a little bit of that, I thought it could have added some dimension to Diego's character by his interactions with others. There's also one of the things they said, you know, part of storytelling is visualizing. You want to be able to picture the story, what's actually happening. And your dialogue is really great, but I was thinking, I was wanting a little bit more description. Like if you look at books and movies, you know, sometimes it's overboard with how much they describe all the little nitty details and, you know, the cuffs on just the little minor things. But some more detail just in, you know, how was Diego being when he was reacting with his name? What were his facial expressions? What sort of more about his reactions I thought could have added to the story. Now, Art specifically asked about using pauses and the pace of his story. He wanted me to pay attention to that. This is something I never really noticed before. I think, you know, you have vocal variety, and he's got good gestures and all this. But I did notice there was a little times where it was a bit fast at times. And so even though it's, you know, you're accomplished in that area, there's actually some room for improvement. If he slowed down occasionally, it would add to it. And I noticed you doing that more in the second half of the speech, which was good. And then the one thing, I think that probably the biggest thing to improve it, the opening, could have been a little smoother. I really liked your use of the quote from Romeo and Juliet. But there's this dilemma of whether to read something or to look at, and using your notes, or whether to just memorize it. And for very visual people, they like to have that connection unbroken without somebody looking down at notes. It's not so important for me. I'm maybe more auditory, and I can hear it. And if it's smooth and into my ear, I'm okay. So there's a little bit of a dilemma there about what to do. I may choose to read it, and just so it came out smooth, so I wasn't trying to remember it. But I don't know which one works better. But a smoother opening would have helped. Overall, I mean, you're a natural storyteller. I've heard other stories. I mean, it's easy for you. You've got natural humor. You're at ease in front of people. Good job. Adam, General Becker.